Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is VGY and welcome. Now, normally this would be a... Oh, sorry guys for not uploading. I've been lazy, blah 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 blah, you know. Insert any VGY excuse used before here. But this isn't actually an excuse. I've actually been busy making videos for you guys, and this is one of them. So, this is past Jordan. This is not going to be present Jordan at all. So this is like... On the day this is uploaded, I've probably recorded this like a week prior. Because I've been making the Shang Tsung guide, and I've been making a lot of these guides which you're about to watch. Which is essentially just how to play the fundamentals of MK1 and just NetherRealm games in general, Mortal Kombat side of things anyway. And today we're going to be starting with the neutral of MK1 and how we're going to approach the neutral, what tools we can use to approach the neutral, and character specific things which I'll get into when we get into the video. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this. It took a while to make because I bloody decided to say so many things and then not say things and then put stuff in and then not put stuff in. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you've been keeping well since my last upload. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Sit back, relax, and I'll see you guys in the video. Alright guys, welcome. We're in the lab. I now have my cup of tea, so I'm ready and raring to go. So, to start off things here. Obviously, I'm going to start with the character, the base character himself. So, Shao, obviously, because we don't really care about any other characters, do we? So with Shao, how are we going to approach neutral? Well, it's different versus every character. And I've given Lao here as an example because what does Lao have that is very annoying and that we all hate? He has this move. See how far that goes? It goes very, very far. Almost like, that's almost 3 character distances away. Now, as a Shao player, our main tool that we're going to be pressing is what? Standing 2. That's our main tool. That's the meat and potatoes of the offense that we want. Standing 2. It's a balance button. 20 frames of recovery. As you can see, no recovery at all. It's ridiculous. We love it. In fact, make it a mid. I'm joking. Don't do that because they might. Quick sip. So yeah, as obviously as Shao here, we're not going to be able to just spam this, because if we do, and it can be even worse if he has a cameo that can combo off of this armor, aka Goro. It doesn't matter how good our recovery is in our standing 2, because if we do it like so, he can just kill us for it, right? So we got to watch out when we're standing 2, in standing 2 range. So the general game plan of neutral here, and I'll categorize these into sections. The general game plan and then the matchup game plan are 2 different things. So firstly, I'll go over the general game plan. I'll cut and then go over that in a section. And then I'll go over matchup game plans and how you determine those. So yeah, we'll start off with the general game plan right now. All right, so starting off, I said so. General game plan. As we said before, as we stated, Shao's main button, standing 2, juicer button. However, if an opponent has a low poke that's good, for example, like Kung Lao's down 4, or even his down 3 to an extent, you're going to want to back 1. Back 1, or if you're feeling really, you know, on point that day, back 3, because as you can see, the range of back 3 is absolutely absurd. Like, this is actually a really good buffer tool that no one uses, because it actually goes so far. Like, it's absurd how far it goes. So yeah, you want to use back 1, standing 2, back 3. Okay, so those are your buttons. Nothing else matters for the neutral. Nothing. Because realistically, every other button is either too slow or you have to be too close for it to matter, right? Because at this point, this isn't... I mean, this is the neutral game because nothing's happening. But for example, at this range, people are going to be pressing buttons. King J plays, not now, my friend. In this mid-range, you want to keep your opponent at bay. You don't want to be here because you don't have stuff to use here. All you have is a grab, an overhead that's 20 frames, a low that's 20 frames, a mid that's 14. Like, you don't want to be here. You want to be here. because this is the range where you can whiff punish anything that they do to you. You can react to a jump, and you can just harass with standing 2. Because this is so plus on hit, right? It's plus 12, so they can't disrespect it. This is an infinite if they keep pressing. If they don't block, that's an infinite. And a lot of people don't block, so as we know. So yeah, you want to stand around this range versus any character in the game. Even Lao, any character in the game, you want to stand around this range. Tip back 1, tip back 3, stand 2. Like here is perfect. Like there. This is the range you want to be at. As every one of your tools hits it. Even forward 2 hits it. And with obviously cameos, you can extend that. Of course. But yeah, that's where you want to stand. Right here at like range 2. However, obviously, we have things that can come into account, like cameos, for example, that can make playing neutral at this distance kind of whack. For example, Lao himself that I've got on, which is why I've used him here as an example. If your opponent has Lao hat and you're trying to harass him with like this, Lao hat's a really good option. It's very fast, 24 frames, does a nice chunk, 6%, and at this range, if you get him to block really quick, it's plus. So, like for example, this is legit. They can't move here. Like they can press, but if they try and jump or backdash, that will hit them. As you can see, this is what, plus 10? So a dash up standing 2 here will catch any jump back attempt, as I'll show you here. I'm close enough, I can show you. There you go. There you go. See? It'll catch any jump back. So it stops the movement, and you've got to be thinking as a Shao player, okay, what can I do here that limits my opponent's options the most? That's what you have to think about when you're playing neutral. Obviously, you're fishing for a hit. That's what you're both doing. Fishing for a hit, each of you, so that you can get your game started. And specifically as Shao, you're fishing for that one hit to then get your Oki game started. Oh, now I'm in Axeless. Now I get to mix you. Right? That's what you're looking for. Same thing with Lao. But with Lao, it's shimmy or grab. You know, everyone has a mix in this game. And it's just different with how you engage and initiate. But with Shao, like I say, you're fishing for that hit with your back 1, your standing 2, your back 3. Even your forward 2 to some extent, even a grab sometimes if you're in the corner. That's all it takes to initiate, depending on what cameo you have. And like I say, cameos will change how this neutral range is played. Specifically Lao, Serena, any cameo with a projectile attack, but a chameleon, of course, with Boral, because Boral can hit from this range. So Boral's a threat even at range 2, which is why Shao Chameleon's so good, because Boral's a threat from here. When you're trying to duck standing 2, Boral's a threat. And as we know, we cannot duck Boral, so yeah, very, very strong. In addition to, obviously, projectile cameos, Goro, cameos like that, pressure cameos, also have an effect depending on the character. So, as we can see, Lao here, Lao has Goro. If Lao doesn't have Goro, all I have to fear is that 14%. I don't think he gets Oki off this. No, like I can move there. I can move. He'll get like a sweep, or a down 4, or a down 3 or something. But at this range, without Goro, I have nothing to fear. With Goro, obviously, the risk is much higher of me getting hit, right? So that's doing 30% into a safe jump, into more Kung Lao pressure, overhead, sweep, Goro things. You guys know the drill, right? It's Lao. We know what Lao is. We always have. We always will. So depending on your opponent's cameo, you have to approach matchups differently. So in this case, with him having Goro, this would be an example of matchup-specific neutral game, not general game plan. So now, we're going to swiftly transition, if I do say so myself, to the matchup-specific game plan section, and I'll talk to you guys a bit more about that. Alrighty, so here we are. Matchup specific section. Matchup game plan, as I called it. So, first things first. One thing we have to really take note of here is the fact that what's a tool Astra has that is very good, very abusable, and kind of goes underneath this, counters this, counters this, counters this, counters this. What's a tool that does that? This. Astra's down 4, one of the best in the game. I could also put Reiko here as an example. Reiko's is better than Astra's, but as you can see, this poke is abusive. Abusive. And it jails into her next bit of pressure, right? She can do whatever she wants now. So, yeah. Anyone, and I mean anyone, with a down 4, insert Raiden here. Shout out to Kanamani1, my boy, for spamming with down 4 all this time. All these years, it feels like. But, yeah. Anyone with a down 4, or spammable low poke, that gives them something afterwards. Johnny, to some extent, down 3. As you know, a lot of characters have good down 4s. So, it's going to be hard for Xiao to, you know, if I record Xiao just stand 2ing, for example, I can just get underneath. I have there's no threat in neutral, and if he presses, dead after that, right? So, as the Xiao player, what am I going to do here? You're going to back 1. You're gonna approach the standing 2 range, maybe throw out 1 or 2, get the feelers out, and if you see them crouch, assume they're gonna go for the down 4, and then you back 1. And you see, you can see here, it's whiffing, right? It's whiffing. As you can see at that range, it's whiffing. This isn't you misspacing it. This is you catching the whiff. So, for example, let's say Astra's moving in this range and she down 4s. Oh, see that? I almost had it. See right there? It's tough to outspace those because it's a very good down 4, but you'll see. Like that. That's what you want. You can get your game slide and do whatever. But that whiff punish right there is what separates the men from the boys. I messed up. It's hard to do when I know she's gonna do it, yeah. It's better on a read. Like that, there you go. You're gonna dance in this range with punish. As you can see, the recovery isn't great, but this is what you have to do as Xiao here. You can't use standing 2, because as you see, it will whiff. So what you need to do is just dance in this range with punish back 1. Again, a big commitment, because down back 3, as you know, not safe. Minus bloody 25. It's not safe at all. But that's how the neutral of this matchup has to be played. The same with Reiko. If he's going for down 4 excessively, you need to dance at this range, the same range that back 3's hitting, the same range back standing 2, back 1, forward 2. You need to be at this range. This is the golden range. But in this case, because the matchup demands that I do something else other than standing 2, I've got to be a lot more patient for my hit. So take more damage going in. Take the chip, it doesn't matter. Flawless block it. Be patient. Let the timer run down. It's okay, because 1, we have more health than most of the cast. Even Reiko, it's impossible for him to have more health than us base. Unless you're using, well, I mean, yeah, base, it's impossible. Because if he has plus 100, that'll be just the same as ours. But honestly, against Reiko, you'd use Motaro. Why? Because if he's going for down 4s, like Astra is, what can we do at this range? We can back 1 the down 4, of course, but we can also Motaro low shot. We can overhead into combo. The same with Chameleon. What can we do at this range if Astra's down 4ing? If we switch it to Chameleon Decides here for a second, and we get Astra to do her favourite move, what can we do here? Oh look, if he's just spamming down 4, we go for Glaive. And as you can see, if you time it well, it will punish. Like that. And then you get a combo, and then it's party time. And I missed the combo because I'm terrible. Let me hit it just for the 1 time. There we go. Into safe jump, into pressure. Same thing with Reiko. That's why, you know, good Reiko players hate fighting Xiao Chameleon, because not only can you jump, which is also another good option against this kind of playstyle, even though it's harder to execute because obviously they crush, and jumping is a risk. Whereas just whiff punishing back down 4 is not a risk, you know? Like, this is not a risk. Like, this is completely safe. I mean, safer, because you can just whiff right? If you're doing it on a read, but on a reaction, like you can see that recovery is slow. Like you can do that. And it's even better with things like glaive, because you don't have to commit as hard. Like glaive is not unsafe. They can armor the gap, sure. But it's a lot safer than going for... Excuse me, Astra, dear. It's a lot safer than going for this, because as you can see, this is minus 25. So obviously you've got a difference in the buttons you're using as your approach. That's one bullet point that we need to rattle off here. So as I say, in these kind of matchups, you're going to want to press back 1 a lot more. Also back 3, but it's slower. But it has more range, so it's up to you what you press here. Whatever you're more comfortable with is all good. And like I mentioned before as well, cameos. Like Chameleon at range 2, range 3, even... I mean, every range past range 2 is fantastic neutral-wise. Even with Boro. As you can see, Boro from here connects. Glaive from here connects. Like, everything she can do to you connects at this range. So, it's never a bad thing. Ever. And it makes your options that you have to go for a lot safer. Which is super nice. Same with back 3. You can do back 3 glaive and that combos. And then you obviously get a big juicer combo. Which does a bunch of damage. It's a safe jump. Which is super good. So that's that. There's one more thing I'd like to go over for this guide, and that is ambush cameos, specifically ambush cameos. So I'm gonna cut and then make that a section now. But yeah, just as a summarizing little bit of this, like I mentioned before, does a character have a tool that stops you from being able to use your primary tool? If yes, adapt. You want to go for a different game plan. It's not you playing wrong, it's that you have to now change what you're doing because the character matchup demands it. That's number 1. And then number 2 is, does a cameo assist in that? If so, pick that cameo. I mean, Chameleon assists in bloody doing your taxes, so you can pick her anyway, but you know what I mean. If any of the cameos help you achieve this goal, pick the cameo for that matchup. But yeah, that's that section. On to the final section. It won't be as long as the others, but yeah, I just want to add this little bit at the end. So I'll see you guys in. Alright, so final section, which will be a bit shorter. We've got ambush cameos and everyone's favourite bald Australian man, Mr. Kano. Now obviously ambush cameos completely change the way neutrals play, because you can do anything you like into an ambush. For example, I could, let's say, be ass and whiff this, but then Kano's there to help me. Another great example of this is Mr. Striker, so I'll show you with Striker. I can be ass and whiff something, and then Striker saves my ass. For example, oh look, I whiffed. Oh no, I didn't. You know, I'm in. So, how do we play around these? Well, number 1. Against these kind of cameos that you have to be on the lookout for, otherwise you die. Chameleon fan left is a good another example. Kano's another example with things like Raiden Teleport, Raiden Superman, or like Johnny Shadow Kick into Kano Ball, or stuff like that. When you know that there's going to be some coverage, or you know that there's the potential for coverage. Striker Nades is the key one, and then Movado obviously has traps. So for example, if Astra does... She whiffs this string and then makes herself safe with trap. You don't want to punish, otherwise you get trapped. For example, if I try this here now, and I try and punish her, you see I die. Right, so you need to be careful. And the key here is to just look at the cameo gauge. Make sure that when you're doing your little scan around the screen for information, because that's all this is, information gathering. You look at your health bar, you look at their health bar, you look at their meter, you look at their cameo gauge, right? You do a little scan around the screen every now and again when you're in the neutral game, like when you're at this range and there's no threat, or when you're ducking projectiles or flawless blocking, or you've just blocked an attack and you're in a combo. That's when I like to do it. If I get a hit, I'm like, okay, what's on the screen? Okay, that's on the screen, that's on the screen, that's on the screen. And I know every piece of information, so I know what next option to go for. Make sure you're always scanning around the screen for those reasons. And also... obviously that's self-explanatory, but a more key example of something you can do is just understand how your character can counter. And in Xiao's case, if we're seeing things like Movado trap, as we saw here was the example. Let's say she whiffs, you can do down back 3 to get over it. Right, that's just a Xiao specific example. Even, you know, you can do a lot of things here. If you see a whip from this range, jump 1-2, after back 2, and you look at the damage. You have a lot of options. Back 3 as well if you want to. You have a lot of options here to get around the things like Movado trap. But then when talking things like striker grenades, Raiden has a really good counter versus striker grenades because he can forward 4-3 underneath them in a lot of cases. So for example, if I go for something like, I don't know, try and be cheeky and get a punish from them, obviously he's going to down 2 here because that's the logical thing to do. But if he's Raiden, he can forward 4 underneath. So knowing your character's counters to those specific cameo interactions is also really important. I just wanted to do a section on this separately because I know some people really hate the idea of fan lift, striker grenades, Kano ball, making everything safe, but it is an assist game, so you have to learn how to deal with that. People complaining there's no merit because this is the kind of game it is, and you either deal with it or you crash and burn and then don't improve. And I know you guys want to improve, so make sure you're learning those counters. The lab, it takes minutes, you know, to learn a counter that you'll use for the rest of your life. So make sure you're labbing those specific counters for those different cameos. Obviously, I don't have to tell you what they are, all of them, because you guys are very capable players. You know how to lab. But I just wanted to make a section about this because I know people do struggle with these certain cameos and think the game's cheap because of it. But realistically, it's just the kind of game it is. It's an assist game. It's going to happen. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. Really enjoyed making this, and yeah, lots of outtakes, but I hope the final product is good for you guys and that you enjoy it. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the outro section. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video today. I hope you enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed making it, but it's just a little taste of what's to come. Pretty much how to approach neutral with Xiao, and like I say, I hope you enjoyed. If you made it all the way to the end, put standing to merchant in the comments so that I know that you made it to the end. And I'll be responding to those comments. Leave me some feedback about what you thought. And if I missed anything that you think I did miss, let me know. Or if you liked it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. If you just hate me as a human, let me know. Just tell me. Just tell me. But yeah, that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, guys.